Former Razorback quarterback, now with the Los Angeles Rams, Brandon Allen on the First Security Bank hotline as the Rams prepare for a Super Bowl showdown with the New England Patriots. BA, great to have you back on the airwaves in Arkansas. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
What's the aftermath of the NFC Championship game been like?
Oh, man, it was great. It was exciting. Obviously, the ending, kind of something you kind of dream about. But now we're full focus on the New England Patriots and Tom Brady, trying to stop him.
Sean McVay, your head coach, has really gotten a lot of attention this year for good reason, and we've all kind of gotten to know him a little bit better. How would you describe the man who seems to have the most unbelievable memory in football?
Well, it's pretty true. He's very innovative. He knows football. He knows it so well. He's able to diagnose defenses and game plan and call schemes and things that are going to give our offense the best chance to be successful. And obviously he's the best at doing it right now.
Do you sometimes, or maybe others on the team, get a little nervous about a guy with a memory that good? Like, he could say something and make you believe that he remembers it and you don't. He's like, "Oh, you don't remember that?" And he may have never said it. You know, I get a little nervous, like, when somebody's got that much of a better memory than me.
No, I mean, there's times where it seems like it would be intimidating.
I know you're gonna dig this.
So there's me five of the Arkansas guys going to the Super Bowl. It's pretty impressive. It's pretty great. It's gonna be fun to see those guys again. It's been a while, but I'm kind of hoping Dietrich and Trey Flowers kind of take it easy on us a little bit.
This
It's all dope here.
is
Answer me now.
No Way Sports Talk
We need to hire a batter coach up there.
Wow.
from the Fleet Center of Arkansas Studios for all your commercial truck needs.
Speaking facts.
How about a little decorum in here on a work day?
Here is Bo Mattingly.
Hey, welcome in. Thanks for making us part of your day. We always appreciate it. Bart tweeted that we have a major announcement. He tweeted that from the Sports Talk account. I'm still trying to figure out what that is. It's not that I'm getting hair plugs. I know that. I am not getting hair plugs. That is not the major announcement. Now, whether I should be is something we should
Different
talk about.
story we could talk about later on.
Bart's not riding a unicycle professionally. That was something else that I don't know. People were guessing what could this be? Is Bart going to host the show from now on?
Somebody thought I was getting a job at Dairy Queen, which, I mean, Dairy Queen's great. They've got all the ice cream you can eat.
Mike Irwin will tell you that Dairy Queen needs to be closer to his house because his grandkids love it. And I mean, who doesn't? Let's be honest, when they turn that thing upside down and shake it, it's exciting. You're like, that's right. Hand it over. Now, we do have a major announcement. And, we often start the show by saying that, we are, thanks for making us part of your day. Glad you're here. We wouldn't want to do it without you. And for 11 plus, almost 12 years, we've been doing this together, this radio show. And as many of you know, we've been involved with producing content in various forms beyond the radio. When we started the radio show way back in 2007, we did it as part of a content company. And we always had a vision that we would produce content beyond the radio. But in the very beginning, we just kind of started the radio show, got it off the ground, and then the radio show became kind of this monster that we had to feed every day in terms we really enjoyed doing it, and we wanted to do it better, and we wanted to keep growing and do it better. And so we would hire more people. We would bring in more experts, and the radio show just became this thing we'd work on all day, every day. Bart and Sawyer get here between 7 and 8 every day. I get here at noon. They get here at 7 or 8. No, we all come in here every day, and we love working on this show. I mean, you hear the production that Sawyer puts in. You hear the research that that Bart puts in, and it took our attention, and it's what we spent our days and weeks working on, and it's been a labor of love. And about 3-4 years ago, we started producing other content. And then, with the social media world, the way that it is, we started digitally doing things with the radio show. And as you know, we've just expanded in that area and started producing and co-producing TV shows for ESPN, Facebook, YouTube over the past few years. The Being series, the Training Day show in August, Rolling with the Tide, we were involved with and co-produced that, and it was just such a treat to work with our friends, JM Associates. And at my core, I love producing content. I love trying to think creatively and give people and content in ways they haven't necessarily seen it before or heard it before. And I know Bart and Saul are the same way, and we've enjoyed working on all of these projects together. And so after a lot of thinking and praying about the expansion of our company and these things that we're involved with, it's just become clear that we need to take the next step. It's time. And expansion and taking that step forward comes with a cost. I think it was former President Clinton, native Arkansan, who once said the price of doing the same old thing is far higher than the price of change. And so it's a little unnerving, but we are making a major shift in our company, and that includes this show. And so Sports Talk's long run of serving you and our incredible listeners, this relationship that we have, and very often times you serve us, will be coming to an end next month as we transition from the radio world and kind of go all in on the digital world. And what we're going to do in Arkansas is we're going to take all of the access and resources and the various sports personalities that we are in contact with and the team that works here every day to create this radio show. And we're going to deliver a 1-hour story-driven, highly produced podcast each week for Arkansas Razorback fans worldwide. We will have some staples that we have in the show, and we're going to be able to produce things that we've never been able to produce before, because we won't be producing 20 live hours of radio each week. It's bittersweet because we're going to miss doing this every day, but we're still going to be producing Razorback content every day. It's going to start with a weekly podcast that I think will also air on some of the same radio stations you were listening to us on now. And we're also going to create other Razorback content. It's going to give us the opportunity to work and spend time and resources in ways we haven't been able to do before. So it's going to be a whole new experience for Hog fans, filled with insights and stories that you're going to be able to share with others, and we're excited about giving you. So basically, we're transitioning from a radio-based Razorback show that we have here to a digital podcast, and we're going to begin creating worldwide content. We're working on expanding at the moment. We've already done this, but coinciding with this move on radio, we're expanding our TV film production business. So we're going to be creating worldwide content. We're working on future projects right now that could include Netflix and Amazon Prime and various streamers, ESPN. And we're going to also be creating those kinds of products in Arkansas. So worldwide, Razorback fans are going to be able to access this content, and then we'll also have global content that's not Razorback specific outside of this podcast. So there's two things going on. We're switching to a podcast, a weekly podcast. And I don't know, if you're familiar with the podcast world, I'll explain a little bit more on that in a second. But we're switching from radio to a podcast format, and we're also expanding our TV film production business, both of which I think are going to give Razorback fans something they haven't had before. But obviously, the TV film production business is going to be beyond Arkansas as well. So both here at home and beyond, we're setting out on this adventure to create content that we think that you're going to enjoy. And I realize that doesn't answer the question, well, what about this daily radio show that I put up with, Bo? I've put up with you, Bo, now for 12 years, but it gets me through my day at work. And I can assure you that the radio operators in this state are aware of this. They were informed before we announced this today, and they are already working on a plan to give you a great show every day. Some of you, this is probably the best. This is one of the best days of your life. You're like, now when does this thing get over with? February 28th. We're going to go through February, and I'm going to be here as much as I can. We're working on some projects right now, as you know, that have me off the air from time to time. And Bart never set out to be a radio talk show host, but has become a guy who has just batted wherever we need him to in the lineup. And done a phenomenal job, and he's going to continue to help in that capacity. But I'm going to be here as much as possible. We plan on finishing strong on the radio in February, and then in March we'll launch this podcast. We'll be telling you a lot about it between now and then. But for those that aren't really familiar with the podcast world, it's going to be real easy for you to download every day, and it can come right to you, or every week, and it'll come right to you. You won't have to work hard to get it, and it's accessible to everyone worldwide. And there are a variety of kinds of podcasts out there, and you may have heard a podcast, and that's all you've heard, and that's your only experience with the podcast. Not all podcasts are created equal. So some podcasts might be, a guy sitting behind a microphone just talking and talking some more. And that's not the kind of podcast that we will have. We will have hours spent on delivering stories that we put together. So I'll give you an example. So if we're going to produce here a story about Daniel Gafford, and we did it live on the radio, more often than not, you would just have an interview on and you would talk about Daniel Gafford. But in this case, we could go talk to many people about Daniel Gafford. We could go to his hometown. We could hear from his band director, his high school coach. He said, man, that guy's too tall to be in band. He should be on the basketball court. We could talk to several different people, put this story together. That would be part of the podcast. That's a part of what we'll be doing. We'll be taking a historical look back at some things that have happened, key moments in Razorback history, and telling the story beyond the story. And we're just fired up. I mean, we are excited. It's bittersweet. We won't be structured exactly the same. Our business model is different in this move. And so there will be some people that have been working with us and a great part of our team that will be moving on to future endeavors themselves. Bart and Sawyer are, I don't know why, but they're going to stay here with me. And I appreciate that, from you guys. I mean, it's kind of hard to believe that you guys have been with me for a combined 15 or 16 years. And if we could have got Saul out of school earlier at Arkansas State, he would have been here just as long as Bart. He interned here, and I want to say, look, we're going to have plenty of time to talk about things that have happened over the years on the show. But I want to say this. I want to thank, I'll get emotional if I start thanking people probably right now, but there's so many people that have had so much to do with this show and any amount of success, whatever you think success looks like to you. I know what it looks like to us. And it starts with, radio operators like Tommy Kraft and Candace Dixon, who have put us on the radio, allowed us to be on their stations. Jay Bunyard. I mean, we could go Dale Daniels of years gone by, the Buzz and Justin Acree and the Johnson family. And there's just so many people. Clay Henry has Clay started out with the show, and he was a staple of credibility for us. And then he just turned into an older gentleman who has no filter, which is like a second act, and it's beautiful. But he's been with us from the beginning. Dudley, Mike Irwin, Jimmy Dykes, Chris Lowe. There's so many names. I mean, we've had so many personalities across the sports world that have been kind enough to come on in Arkansas and talk about Arkansas athletics, even though there might not have been really anything in it for them because they command a little bit bigger audience. We've had listeners who have contributed so much to the show, and it's not over. I mean, we're going on. We're going through February, and then we're going to continue a lot of this within this podcast. But it is a major shift. It's a major change for us. And so today we wanted to let you know about it, and we're going to be sending a press release out here in a little bit that I'm sure the media will ignore. But we're gonna send it anyhow. Bart, am I leaving anything out?
I don't think so. We're really fired up about where we're going and what we're going to be able to do. The freedom that a podcast form allows us and permits us to be really creative and just kind of showcase our creativity and tell stories in unique ways that Razorback fans are really going to love. And I'm really excited about what we're going to be able to do. And, I guess the words to say are, and there'll be plenty of time for this, but it's just thank you to everyone who's put up with us every afternoon for the past 12 years.
And I know that we're saying that a little tongue in cheek, but I'm also serious. I want people to know.
I mean, this show would not be as good as it is without the
people
who call into our show and who care about our opinions and sharing their own opinions. That's the heart and soul of the show right there.
We have tried really hard, and I don't know that we've always hit the mark. In fact, I'm sure we haven't. But we've tried really hard to work to find content and bring content that facilitates a conversation. And there are times I'm sure that I have just driven people nuts, or they felt like I've talked down to them. And I mean, that happens at home. I get it. But I want you to know the aim has been to deliver content that we could facilitate a conversation around, and we could discuss, and we could there'd be some hyperbole, but there would also be some strong takes and opinions. And you would stand firm in your opinion. And we've had some great debates, and that's been all part of it. Saul, you've been over there shooting video. What are you doing with the video? I don't know, but what any thoughts on this?
Oh yeah, many thoughts. Bo, I want to say thank you to you for the opportunity I started interning here in 2010. It's been a blast. It's been really, this show has been a part of pretty much my adult life. And I've been married, I've had a kid, and all that has been captured.
It's time for you to grow up, Saul. I don't know that you've had an adult life yet.
Grow up, but I am so excited about where we're going. And I think we'll be able to do new things that people are going to love.
Well, I hope so. I mean, that's the idea. But this certainly is. We're still going to be here. We're going to be in a different format.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I feel the same way about you and Bart. And we're all in this together. We're going to Arkansas plays Missouri tonight. We're going to go on with our radio show. And if this comes up, we're happy to talk about it. But I'm sure we'll get back to sort of business as usual moving forward throughout the next couple of months. Our advertisers, our advertising partners have been such a big part of this show as well. I've already sent them a personal note, but all of us kind of are in this together, and we're fired up about content that we can bring you about the team that you love the most moving forward.
This is Sports Talk, streaming live on sportandstory.com.
Whether it's commercial or residential, you can count on Pickett Construction to provide quality, cost-effective services. They specialize in commercial buildings and custom homes. And if you're looking for a new home, check out Prairie Meadows Subdivision in Prairie Grove. Pickett Construction's been serving Arkansas since 2002. Licensed in 12 different states, Pickett guarantees customer satisfaction, and they have the manpower to handle any job. And in the last 17 years, there's not much they haven't done. Find them online at PickettConstruction.com. You pick it, we'll build it. Do you enjoy golf? Come live at a Links apartment community and love where you live and play. You get free golf privileges, a resort-style pool, great fitness center, and a whole lot more. Our 9-hole courses offer you challenging and quality golf right outside your front door. All that you need and want, we have. View rates, photos, and apply online today. Or check out a complete list of locations by visiting lindsaymanagement.com. That's lindsaymanagement.com.
And they're off. At Oaklawn in Hot Springs, we're oh so ready for racing.
Oh so ready, on the engine and pumped up.
Oaklawn's live season starts Friday, January 25th, and we're ready to showcase the very best in thoroughbred racing this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Past the furlong marker, oh so ready is 5 lengths in front.
Gates open at 11 a.m. every day. On Saturday the 26th, enjoy one of our legendary corned beef sandwiches for just 50 cents. And remember, we're racing all the way to May 4th, so stay until May. Oaklawn Gaming is open every day at 8 a.m. with more new games and more good times, so don't miss the non-stop excitement. We're oh so ready for another thrilling season of live thoroughbred racing beginning January 25th.
Oh so ready, the one to catch. Oh so ready.
At Oaklawn, Arkansas's favorite place to play. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
This is Sports Talk with Bo Mattingly.
You know, Chad Morris has talked about Clemson being the blueprint at Arkansas. You've obviously seen Morris up close, and he wants to emulate some of what Clemson's doing, or most of it, at Arkansas, and he's got big dreams for this program. What can you tell us about when Chad Morris was at Clemson and what you know about him?
You know, we were struggling, and Dabo knew we had to make a change. He brought Chad in. And that's the other thing. I mean, he didn't go out and try to hire some big glamorous guy, you know, that already had a name. He had a vision on what he wanted from his offense. Chad was 1 year out of high school coaching at Tulsa. And the thing that Chad did when he came in here, he brought the new thing, what kids like to do. When they come to practice every day, I mean, you got a lot of energy because they like what they're doing from an offensive standpoint. And then it made us change some on defense, too, because we had to adapt to what teams are doing today with offenses. But the thing I liked about what Chad did, because he hadn't been out of high school too long, and he came in and he connected with these kids. I mean, our staff, we had some older guys here on our staff, but he connected with these kids, and it was able to help us recruit. Deshaun Watson was sitting right down the road in Georgia, and because of what we were doing on offense, he fell in love with it. His high school coaches came up here and spent a lot of time with us. He ended up going back down there, putting the things that we were doing on offense in there in Gainesville for Deshaun, and the next thing you know, we get Deshaun committed. And we all know what he did for us at quarterback and helping us prepare to be able to win a national championship. And that's what Chad did. Chad did a great job of that.
Well, I was just thinking, Hatfield, Arkansas, Ford, Arkansas, both of those guys, Clemson as well, they had some success here at Arkansas. I don't know, Chad Morris, there's a lot going on between Clemson and Arkansas. Is there any magic left in that connection?
You are dialed into Sports Talk. Get in on the show at 877-447-4040. Here is Bo Mattingly.
All right, Arkansas and Missouri tonight. This is it's a big game for the Razorbacks. I feel like fans are waning in confidence with the program, with the season in the program. And as I've said many times, you often have two conversations going on. You have the here and the now in the big picture conversation happening. And I think in both cases, fans are just kind of wondering, is this thing ever going to get where I was hoping it would go? And by the way, along with waning confidence, I think the question is, what would change it for you? What makes you more confident? And I know winning is that, but is there more to it? Arkansas is struggling right now. We got a 4-game losing streak, and in come the Tigers.
Wednesday night game, it's a real big game because, we've lost, the last couple of games we've had at home. So, we got to protect home court.
Playing against a Mizzou team that's probably is trying to get wins just like we are. And we've got to be able to defend the home court. We need to play a total good game. That's what I'm looking for our guys.
They can make shots, they can make plays, and just we have to hope that the youth is on our side.
And our confidence level is going to get back up, but we just got to, come out and play the basketball that, we played at the beginning of the year and not this basketball that we've been playing.
I think we've been trying to win just with offense, and you can't just win with offense in our league. It's got to be a defensive effort as well. But I look for our guys to come out and play with a much greater sense of urgency, playing against a Mizzou team that, obviously they border this. It's a border game where the states touch, so it's going to be a big game for us and a big game for them as well.
Missouri comes in at 10-6. Arkansas is 10-7. Missouri's 1-2 on the road. Arkansas 7-4 at home. They both have one league win, and it's at Texas A&M. They're the best three-point shooting team in the SEC. Dwight is in Bentonville. The phone number is 877-447-4040. Dwight, you're on Sports Talk. Go ahead.
Hey, Bo, a couple things. Quick comment about the basketball game and then comment about what you were talking about earlier. With the basketball team, I think it's a great opportunity for them to get back on track. A lot of times when you're in a little bit of a tailspin or a losing streak, you need a get-well game. And the teams we've been up against the last 3 or 4 games aren't teams that you would get a get-well game against. So this is going to be our best opportunity right now to get back on track. And I think that's one thing the team really needs is just a win to get that confidence back, to just get that losing streak monkey, off of their back. And this is a great opportunity for it. Yep. Just hope the fans turn out and help get them over there. They've had games where they played great defense, not great offense. Games where the offense was there, the defense wasn't. So if they can put it together and these kids can play to the potential, obviously they can still do a lot this season. But I think this is a crucial game. Now, going to what you were talking about before transitioning, one thing I think you may be taking for granted, maybe you're discounting might be the word, is the service that your show does and some others in giving the fans a voice. A lot of times when the football team's down, we don't feel like there's any hope, or the basketball team's underperforming, a lot of times people just want to be heard, and they feel like, the administration doesn't hear us. They don't care. All they care about is money, and they need a place to vent. Because a lot of times after you vent, you feel better, you get it off your chest, then you go back to thinking things aren't so bad and I'm going to go back and be a great fan. But if you don't get that opportunity to vent, or you don't think anybody's listening, you just keep those bad feelings bottled up. So you're kind of like the Sports Talk Fraser Crane in that regard, and so that's going to leave a hole. Because, there's some other shows out there, but probably only one other maybe with your reach and your quality. And the one thing you guys did really well, I think, is had a good mix of caller-driven and content-driven and guest-driven. You didn't go too heavy with one or the other, so it was a great blend of the two. But I think the fans are going to miss that part of being able to interact and have a feeling that they've been heard. So good luck to you, Bo, but I hope the stations find the right solution to fill that void as well.
Thank you, and I'm sure they will, and I appreciate that. And that's great perspective. It's true. It is an opportunity to. That's part of sports. Talking about it is just such a huge part of what we love about it. If you couldn't talk about it, and I feel like I don't play a lot of golf anymore. I haven't since we had kids, and been whatever. But I do remember one of the best parts of playing golf was sitting around talking about it.
Oh yeah.
If I hadn't snap hooked that one right there on 17, I would have broken 90. Travis,
only I made that putt.
Well, you just kind of go hole by hole, every shot. But that's sports. It's part of talking about it. It's part of it. Travis, go ahead.
First off, I want to congratulate you guys on trying to expand, and I definitely wish you guys well and look forward to hearing that content. I just wanted to comment real quick on, I guess, kind of the free fall, or maybe not the free fall, but the, I guess, minor concerns of the basketball team. It seems like, every game, or after every game, Mike is saying, we got to start inside out, Yet it seems as if, as good as Jalen Harris has been, there's a lot of, at least offensively, just dribbling around the perimeter. I just really feel like if they would just have some sort of almost dribble drive offense to where you're constantly driving through the nail of the free throw line, getting in the lane, and either dumping it off to Gafford or drawing two and kicking it out for wide open threes. It just seems very, we dribble around the perimeter for about 20 seconds, and then we jack up a three with 5 seconds left. So I just wanted to hear what you guys think about, I guess, I don't know, the offense being stagnant, I guess, and what you guys think,
right.
What the solution would be.
Okay.
So I'll hang up and listen to you.
I think
Thanks.
the solution is trusting each other when things get more difficult. Earlier in the year, they were able to trust each other. They were sharing the ball. They had a high assist ratio of buckets made and a lot of assisted baskets. Now they're just, it seems like they get out there, things get really difficult, and instead of continuing to trust each other, it turns into more of an individual game. And the good news is you can improve that. Mike Morgan is on the call for tonight's game. We'll get his thoughts on where Arkansas basketball is and where it's headed.
This is Sports Talk, streaming live on sportandstory.com.
What's your more? Maybe it's more front row seats to see your favorite band on all 35 tour dates around the world. Whatever you'd like more of, Powerball from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery can turn those dreams into reality. And the next drawing is for more than $140 million. So go to your local lottery retailer and get your ticket to more today. This is winning. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Life is better with basketball and with First Security. We have the know-how to assist with your needs, plus a local team you could count on. What's your better? Get there with us. First Security. Bank better. FSBank.com, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This is Sports Talk with Bo Mattingly.
We're expecting to hear from Woody McCorvey, who Dabo Swinney brought up for the Bear Bryant Award when he accepted the award a few days ago.
When I got the job at Clemson, the first person I called was Woody. He was the offensive coordinator at Mississippi State, and I said, Woody, man, I need you to come be by my side. I don't want you to coach a position. I want you to help me coach life. I want you to help me run the program. Y'all see he's got all the gray hair. I'm still hanging in there. But you don't know how impactful Woody McCorvey has been in my life. He's been right by my side. And so even though my name may be on this trophy tonight, man, he ought to be on there somewhere too.
He spent 18 years coaching in the SEC, and he's currently the Clemson Associate AD of Football Administration. He's been right there with Dabo Swinney the whole time, and he's joining us on the First Security Bank hotline, Woody McCorvey. Woody, thanks for making time for us. We appreciate it today.
Glad to be on with you all.
That was quite a moment the other night. It was inspiring for many of us to watch. What was your reaction? Were you surprised when Dabo called you up on stage as he was receiving the Bear Bryant Coach of the Year award?
Yeah, I was really surprised, but I shouldn't have been because that's Dabo. I've been knowing him a long time, since 1990.